If you're looking for a really effective left-hand comping strategy for 2-5-1 progressions, then this is going to be a great video for you. If we start with a 2-5-1 progression in C major, in root position, you've got D minor 7th to G7 to C major 7. What we don't want is for the hand to jump around a lot like it does in those root position chords. What we want to do instead is start with a D minor 7th chord, but add a 9th on top. And we know that in a 2-5-1 of major, 9 and 11 are available. So this is a root position D minor 9th chord. And you can see that's what's written right here. 3, 5, 7, and 9, making a D minor 9th chord. And then all you need to do to get to G7 is move this note from C to the 3rd of G7, which is B natural. Now, the interesting thing about this chord is that it contains the tritone. So there's the 7th and the 3rd, but it also has the 9th here, which is the A, and the 13th, which is the E natural. So we're going from D minor 9 to G13 by moving one note. And then to get to C major 13, what we want to do is move the two outside notes down the scale. So the E moves to the D, which makes the 9th of C major 13, and then the F moves down to make the 3rd of C major 13 chord. So the strategy is basically play this with your 5th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st finger, move the 2nd finger down one note of the scale, and then move the 1st and 5th finger down in the scale to get to C major 13. So D minor 9 to G13 to C major 13. And you'll notice that I've written the words root position. There is a second inversion formula for this as well. So what you want to do is take the bottom two notes and move them to the top, like this. So your F and your A are up here. And then what you do in this formula is you just move the 5th finger down to become the G13 chord, and then these two fingers move to become the C major 13. So instead of root position, you have second inversion. And the reason we have these two different inversions, root position and second inversion, is because you want to keep your chords typically between C3 and G4. That's because if it gets too low, the chords become muddy. If it gets too high, they become too thin. Then this formula is easily transferable to all 12 keys. Play your 2-5-1 of C major, and then change the C major chord to C minor 9. So remember, we started with D minor 9, we're going down a whole tone to C minor 9, to F13, to B flat major 13 chord. And then change the B flat major to B flat minor, to E flat 13, to A flat major 13. Then when you get to A flat major 13, you can see we've already reached the bottom of our recommended range, because if we go lower than that now, we start to get really muddy. So what we do is we start playing second inversion. So change the A flat major 13 chord to A flat minor 9, to D flat 13, to G flat major 13. Then let's scroll, and the G flat major 13 becomes F sharp minor 9 because we're going to the key of E major. This is our F sharp minor 9 chord, to B 13, to E major 13, and then E major 13 becomes E minor 9, to A 13, to D major 13. Then the next 6 keys will start with F major. So our 2-5-1 is G minor 9, C13, F major 13. And of course, these are root position, and I've written that in here as well. F minor 9, B flat 13, E flat major 13, E flat minor 9, A flat 13, D flat major 13, and then our 2-5-1 of B, 2-5-1 of A, and then go up to second inversion for the G major. And then of course it starts all over again, G minor 9 to C7 to F major 13. Make sure you stick around because a bit later on I'm going to put a link to this sheet music that we're using, which contains the formula for all 12 keys for major 2-5-1 progressions. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, what about minor 2-5-1 progressions? Does that have a formula? And the answer is yes. The formula differs quite a bit from major 2-5-1 progressions. If we go to a D half diminished seventh chord, this is it in root position, and then a G7 flat 9 chord would be this in root position, and then a C minor 7th chord in root position. The formula is this. D half diminished 7th chord in root position. If we go up to second inversion, we get to this chord. And instead of that, to make our chord a little more modern sounding, we're going to move the third up to the fourth. So we get this voicing that you see on your screen, and then you change one note to become the G7 flat 9 chord. So the seventh of D half diminished 7th falls to become the third of G7 flat 9, like that. And then to get to C minor 7th, you want to change 3 notes to get to this chord. So that last change from G7 flat 9 to C minor 7th is a little tricky because you have to change 3 notes, like this. And as you can see in the full version of the sheet music, it follows that formula throughout all 12 keys, just like we did before. You would do the 6 keys starting on the 2-5-1 of C minor 7th, and then you would do the other 6 keys starting with the 2-5-1 of B minor. In order to incorporate this into a tune, I decided to choose Autumn Leaves because it has 2-5-1s of major keys and 2-5-1s of minor keys. So what I've done with this exercise is I'm comping on the and of 4 and the and of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And I've been wholly consistent with our formula in this tune. I haven't strayed from it at all. So if you were to play this, it sounds like this. And you can see that we are using different inversions of these chords, root position and second inversions, because we want to stay within that range of C3 to G4. And you can see that throughout this arrangement, I'm consistently playing on the and of 4 and the and of 2, and I'm keeping the left-hand chord voicings within the range of C3 to G4 by using root position and second inversion chords. I'm going to put a link to the left-hand comping formula and the arrangement of Autumn Leaves, which has our left-hand voicings, in a moment. But first, I want to go to the grand piano and play you Autumn Leaves. I'm going to play the melody first and then a chorus of solo. I want you to see how the left hand plays out with the melody and also with the soloing. Okay, I hope that made some sense and you could hear the left-hand comping formula clearly. I'm going to put a link to both pieces of sheet music. You've got the Autumn Leaves left-hand voicings and the left-hand comping formula in all 12 keys. I'm going to put that link up here in the corner. It's also in the description below. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for more help with improvising, I would suggest the 6 core principles of bebop video that I put out recently. It's quite popular. You can check that video out right here.